What's going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I'm going to talk to you about Fisker. I want to give you a quick overview of some of the current data points, what's been coming out associated to the company, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that said, let's get right to it. So on a side note, hopefully everyone's had an amazing weekend. Excited for a very fun-filled, packed week for the broader market. Seems to be a very volatile one. But despite the volatility, which kind of started on Friday, Fisker did close in the green, 6.42% in fact. And that was also factoring in only 36.7 million shares were traded again on Friday. 143.8 is the average. So Friday was a complete bloodbath. You can kind of see just from my watch list of mostly EVs and just kind of momentum plays and whatever else, it was the only stock that was green. So definitely a round of applause to Fisker. I'm going to go over some of the current data points and everything else that you need to know. So based on right now, there hasn't been any recent news. Last one was on March the 21st. And then aside from that, there was a Form 3 that was submitted on Friday. Nothing really crazy. It just shows the initial, I guess, beneficial ownership for John Dubell, who is a director, I believe a new director, although it does say that they have no securities owned currently. So something to kind of consider. This was submitted by Fisker, so nothing really crazy in my opinion. So no real reason to buy nor sell from this information. There was no recent hirings through their website, so I've been monitoring to see if there's any like changes or anything like that, but absolutely nothing. But the latest rumor that did come out is this, and I did previously bring up how Hinrichs did list his house, his personal home, for sale. And so this is where recently some people are starting to speculate, saying, why is that actually even occurring? Especially at the same time when Fisker started to get delisted and become into some very serious trouble. So it does say Hinrichs did put up his LA home for 35 million. In this document it says that they bought it, or I guess built it in 2015 for 20 million. So that is a pretty good return ultimately. And so this is where a lot of people are speculating, saying that they are going to, or I guess Hinrichs is going to take this money and buy Fisker, their shares. Of course, the debt is pretty significant, but right now with the market cap being at 13.6 million, very, very cheap in my opinion. So this is where kind of the rumor is stemming from. I don't know if it's valid or not. It kind of does make sense essentially why Hinrichs would want to really put everything he has, every last dime, into Fisker. I could be wrong about that, but who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. And most likely though, he would be issuing himself a kind of special preferred share. That way in times of insolvency, he'd kind of get paid out before the common stock, if that makes sense. So again, it's kind of still stuck in limbo. We do know it's going through the restructuring, just don't know any official updates on where it's at. A lot of people are saying that if this company is to go bankrupt, and so of course the stock would cease. That is very incorrect, and I'm going to give you a good overview of that and what I mean by that, because this company right here, so Electric Last Mile, so ticker is ELMS, now it's a Q, but this company is bankrupt and it's already gone through the bankruptcy proceedings. For the most part, I think they're still trying to realize upon some assets, and that is exactly the only reason why it does continue to trade, because there is still potential for some assets to be realized where investors can benefit from that. So again, that's kind of why stocks still do essentially trade even though they do go belly up. So something to kind of consider. And just to look at this right here, so Electric Last Mile, which based on my interpretation, I don't think they had all that much assets, maybe just IP or something like that. I'm not really sure, but their market cap is 9.21 million. So a lot of people are saying, who on earth is buying Fisker? Well, given their inventory and everything else, this is where some people are speculating clearly that even if Fisker was to go belly up, roughly it might be around this price point. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. Based on Friday though, shorts did return about 2.8 million shares. You can tell that based off of the teal line right there. Still, I have no real explanation on exactly why they are doing that. Clearly they're maybe assuming that some, I guess, deal is going to be worked out from the trustee standpoint, and that it is actually going to be restructured. Like I said, that's if the creditors do and are willing to play ball. But as it stands, essentially everyone is just kind of left in the dark. So hopefully we get some updates sooner rather than later. As far as institutions getting into Fisker, absolutely nothing. So a lot of the volume that's been happening over this last little bit has been attributed to either swing traders, shorts, or algorithmic trading. So big money still isn't really getting into Fisker, and obviously rightfully so. The broader market is very fearful right now, and plus Fisker is a whole different level of fear. So hopefully Fisker gets their crap together sooner rather than later and maybe gets it back on its own feet, something. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that. If you are looking at trading Fisker, so with it at 2.3 cents, I did do a video 3 or 4 days ago, and I did say some very strong support and resistance points that you need to watch for. And so that 2 cent mark was more of a psychological support. And oddly enough, over this last several trading days, it has held up. So again, you'll want to watch for that to kind of continue to hold going into next week. But as it stands where it's currently trading, it is trading between this pivot and this R1. So the pivot is 2.1 cents. And if that does break, then anticipate 1.7, then 1.4 to be the next strong support points. So I think all in all, Fisker, based off of like at least what I mentioned, just the assets that they do have, whether it be inventory or just other aspects like IP maybe, like there is a certain level of value to it. So realistically, can it go down to 1 cent? Yeah, it could. Does it make logical sense? Because that's probably close to the intrinsic value. Not much. So this is why you are seeing Fisker's stock price kind of stabilized around this, because clearly people are just seeing this being, for the most part, a fair value for its current assets. So that's not assuming any future growth or them really restructuring and getting their crap together. That's not really factoring that. So if that does come out, this is where you will see a nice bump up in the stock price. So let me know your thoughts on Fisker. Definitely, it is a very risky play. So make sure you guys always do your own due diligence. I am definitely not a financial advisor. So let me know your thoughts on Fisker. Have you been buying over this last little bit? Have you been selling? What's your thoughts? One final thing, make sure you guys definitely take advantage of this promo. Simply sign up for a new account, throw $100 at it, and you do get 7 fractional shares of the 𝗪𝗧7, a $35 total value. So that's a pretty good return on investment for throwing $100 at a new account. So take advantage of this, link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.